Hello everyone. Today I would like to address the topic of racism with specific concentration on Hispanic people. Not all Hispanic people, but just the racist ones. Granted, not all of them are racist. In fact, not even half of them are racist. But for the ones who are racist, this video was about those in particular. So, what I realize when it comes to Hispanic people as well as Asian people, when you call them racist, it seems their automatic defense is, I'm not white. Yes, if I say to someone right now, you're racist, it seems their instant defense is, I'm not white. Racist and white do not rhyme. So how is it that if I call you racist, your reply is that you're not white? If that alone is not a racist statement, then what is it? Because that statement says only white people could be racist. Yeah, does it make sense? That you are called racist and your defense is that you're not white, as if you have to be white in order to be racist? That alone is a racist statement. When people say nowadays everything is racist, nowadays they consider every person to be racist, let me tell you the ones who say that. The people who say that are people like my ex-coworker named George Rincon. Yes, he's a server at a restaurant that I used to work at. He told me one day, it was during the Black Lives Matter movement in the summer of 2020. He said to me that black people are the worst people. It was just me, him, and another server named Mayor Font. Neither of them would have had this conversation surrounded by black people. But because I was the only black person in the immediate area, they felt bold enough to say the things that they would never say in a black setting. And yes, Mayor Font, who is Cuban, said, he asked me, who do you think is persecuting black people the most? Now, Mayor is also Hispanic and very racist. Extremely, I can screenshot plenty of his Facebook posts where he is extremely racist. He's from Cuba. He asked me, who do you think is persecuting black people the most? For one, I don't care how you feel about black on black crime. Because guess what? White on white crime is just as big. Hispanic on Hispanic crime is just as big. And just so you all are aware, the very most violent crimes are actually committed by Hispanics. Yeah, people swear that Chicago is being shot up by black people. No, Hispanic gangs, Latin Kings, Latin Disciples, the MS-13, that gang is actually more in Los Angeles. But either way it goes, those Hispanic gangs are actually the ones shooting up Chicago, contrary to what y'all believe. While we have Hispanic people wanting to talk about how bad black people are. Okay, so back to this conversation between me, Mayor, and George Rincon. While Mayor was talking to me, this is how I know that George and Mayor had already spoken amongst themselves and said racist things about black people. Because Mayor was talking to me, asking me questions. George added himself to the conversation without even being invited in and just started saying things without being spoken to. That's how I knew that he felt comfortable saying that in front of Mayor, because he felt he had backup and he knew that he had a racist Hispanic person there with him. He was making remarks like all lives matter. I just ignored him. Then he said black people are the worst people. Yes, literally on the clock, in uniform, at work, he said that. It was reported to management. The manager was upset, but HR justified what he said somehow. I don't know. Don't ask me what their justification was, but it was reported to HR and he's still working there and everything. So obviously his remark was okay with the HR. George was more offended than I was. Imagine telling someone that people with their skin color are the worst people, but you get more mad than them. You are more mad that they took offense to your comment than the amount of anger they have over what you said. That's why people say everything is racist now. They want to be able to say black people are the worst people without people taking offense. They want to be able to say that and not be called racist. Yes, he literally got mad because I took offense to him saying black people are the worst people. He literally said he's going to go to HR. He's going to go to HR to tell them, hey, I told her black people are the worst people and she took offense. That's what people mean when they say everything is racist now. He didn't think that what he said was racist. He thought he was supposed to be able to tell me black people are the worst people and not be considered racist. I wasn't supposed to take offense. Because I took offense, I'm sure he feels, damn, everything is racist now. You want to be able to say black people are the worst people without being called racist. Now, his defense was not, I'm not white. His defense was black people live in his country. I believe Colombia. How exactly are you exempt from being racist because black people live in your country? You didn't choose for those black people to live in your country. They just live there. That doesn't mean you like them. They just live there. Same thing with Cuba. Mayor said that in Cuba, he can say all of those racist things and it wouldn't offend the black people who live there. That the black people there would be his friends still. Okay, well, go back to Cuba and say all of that. Simple. So that's for Hispanic people who say I'm not white or who say we have black people in our country. None of that exempts you from being racist. Black people live everywhere and racism happens everywhere. And I know that black people can be racist. Us black people are not the ones who say that there are no racist black people because we have racist people in our family. Every single black family has racist people. So we know that black racist people exist. We don't need you to tell us that. But myself, as well as several other black people, will tell you that the majority of the times that we are racially profiled or we suffer racist remarks is from Hispanic people. I'll give you another example. I was working at a store in Hialeah a long time ago. That's a Cuban area full of Hispanic people. Before I got to work, a black guy was in the store stealing. My coworkers were mad when I got to work because when the police arrived, the black guy was gone, but the cop supposedly told them, if anyone else with that description comes in here, just call the police. Basically, he said if another black man walks in that store to call the police. A Cuban cop said that. The I'm not white people or the I have black people who live in my country people. Right. He said if another black man walked in that store to call the police just because it was a black man. Also, in Miami a few years ago, a Hispanic cop was arrested because he was a Hispanic chief or something like that. He told all of his cops to arrest and lie on any black man they saw walking in the city. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison, which in my opinion was not enough time because those black men that he lied on, that he had his cops lying on, received more time in prison. In fact, some of them were deported back to Haiti. Also, just so you are aware about that, the cops who were offended by his remarks, who went to the state and reported what he said, were white. That goes for all of you I'm not white Hispanic people who say the most racist things. White people were offended by what this Hispanic chief had said. Arrest every black man that you see walking in the city and just pin any unsolved crime on him. That is the most racist and disgusting thing in the world. And by the way, that cop was from Colombia, the same country that George Rincon is from, that he said black people live in. You see what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're not white. It doesn't matter if you have black people living in your country. Those things do not mean you cannot be racist. George Zimmerman, he racially profiled a little boy for no goddamn reason. Walked up to a kid who was not doing anything, who had no ill intent, who was literally just walking home from a store. Called the cops, was on the phone with the police dispatcher for a very long time, told repeatedly not to follow him. He still chose to pursue, chase, and follow this little boy and confronted him just because of his skin color. George Zimmerman's mother is Peruvian. How did this Hispanic person get his fat ass out of a car, chased and followed him, confronted him, and did all of that just because black boy walking. But, oh, he's not white, so he can't be racist. Janiyah Thompson, Google that name. She was a little black girl who, in Mississippi, a Hispanic man raped her anally 2 times, then left her hanging. Hanging is a sign of racism. He's also from Colombia, where George Rincon is from. Oh yeah, they have black people in their country. They can't be racist, even though George Rincon told me black people are the worst people, and even though this man raped and left this little black girl hanging. And about the Janiyah Thompson case, because she was hanging, they automatically assumed a white man did it. So within 10 minutes of finding her body, they went to the home of a white sex offender in the area. They jailed him until they found out that he had nothing to do with it. Now, I don't feel sorry for the white man because he is a sex offender. He's a pedophile. So when he decided to rape a child or do whatever he did to become a sex offender, he signed up to be a pedophile. So I don't feel sorry for him. But they automatically assumed her killer was white because she was left hanging. It's not just white people that are racist. I've never been called the N-word by any white person, but I've been called all types of nigga by Hispanic people. I've never heard a white person tell me black people are the worst people, but George Rincon from Colombia with black people in his country sure said that, and then got more mad than I did because he was so convinced that what he said was the truth that I wasn't supposed to take offense to it. Saying black people are the worst people was not racist to him in his stupid little mind. Also, Google Erica Green in Los Angeles. Some Hispanic guys were looking for a black person to kill, and they shot her. She was a little girl, I think, was sitting on the bus stop, surrounded by a bunch of Hispanics. Some Hispanic thugs walked up to her and shot her. They executed her because she was black. My whole point is, this I'm not white thing is stupid and it needs to go away. A lot of you might be thinking, oh, because white people hide it better, they're just not going to say it to your face. Guess what? They're smart. You have to be extremely stupid to be at work in uniform and tell someone that black people are the worst people just because there's a Black Lives Matter movement going on at the time. You're so bothered by Black Lives Matter. Those 3 words bother you for what? Why exactly? Stop saying it's about the destroying of businesses, because the vast majority of people who say Black Lives Matter do not participate in those things. In fact, they proved that a whole lot of those had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. You just dislike the 3 words Black Lives Matter. When they said stop Asian hate, you didn't say stop all hate, but when people say Black Lives Matter, you say all lives matter. When it comes to Black Lives Matter, I'm on the fence. Though some of the people are saying all lives matter and they're mad because of the three words. Stupid. Then there are black people who say Black Lives Matter, yet they have pedophiles in their families raping black kids, and they're remaining silent about that. They're not saying Black Lives Matter about that. So I don't know which side to go with. You either go with the stupid people who say Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, or you go with the stupid black people who their uncles, their fathers, their grandfathers, their cousins and brothers are right now sticking their dicks in black kids, and they're not talking about it. They're not mad about it. They don't even want it said out loud. I'm going to call this stupid bitch name out. Katie Ann Wright. She's a stupid bitch. And yes, I said her name fully. This video is going live. She lives in Broward County and she's a nurse. She's a mother of 2 and a victim of child molestation. But she thinks it's okay that her father molests 1 billion kids. She's more mad that I openly say her father is a pedophile than she is of the fact that her father molested 1 million kids. But she's one of the people who say Black Lives Matter. She's one of the people who want to talk about racism. No, honey. No white man raped you when you were little. Your mother's black boyfriend did. And your father is a black man who raped 80 million black kids, but you're not talking about that. Katie Ann Wright is her name. I don't care if this video is a violation. I'm saying her name out because I'm not like others. I'm not gonna throw rocks and hide my hands. I'm not gonna make a remark then say if the shoe fits, wear it. No, I'm gonna come direct and let you know it's your size. Katie Ann Wright. She's not the only one. There are others. Anyone in my family. Just don't let me hear anything about what I just said. Any slick remarks. Because I will expose you and name you out here just like I just named that stupid bitch. Okay? Back to what I was saying. Hispanic racism. Racism is not limited to just white people. So when you are called racist, I'm not calling you whites. I'm calling you racist. When you say black people are the worst people, it doesn't matter if you have black people living in your country, because you did not choose for those black people to live there. If it was up to you, they probably wouldn't be allowed to live there, because what you said is black people are the worst people. Okay? George Rincon. Yes, I call people's name out. I just come direct and let you know the shoe is your size. I'm not going to say if the shoe fits, wear it. Mayor Font, same thing. A Cuban who swears he's white. He literally posted on Facebook a message that said, "We killed the Japs," referring to white people, saying white people killed the Japs. "We killed the Japs" is what he wrote on Facebook. Who would take pride in that? That's like, let me think of something that black people, okay, child molestation. Hey, that's something that black people do and get away with. So imagine if I were to write, "We raped the kids." Do you see how disgusting that sounds? Who would say, "We killed the Japs," taking pride in people being killed? Just disgusting. He's a Cuban. Mayor Font, but Hispanics can't be racist because they're not white. And on that note, I will end my video. Bye-bye.